700 years ago, one man walked into Egypt, started handing out gold, and accidentally wrecked its value for the next 10 years. Not a war, not a famine. One man being generous. So, how do you get rich enough to crash an economy by tipping? And was he really the richest human who ever lived? Let's actually check. This is Mansa Musa, ruler of the Mali Empire in West Africa in the early 1300s. And the reason you've heard a wild number attached to his name, we'll get to whether it's true. But first, the part nobody explains, where the money came from. Because that's the actual lesson. In 1324, Mansa Musa set out on the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca, a journey of roughly 4,000 miles. And he did not travel light. Now, fair warning, the eye-popping numbers come from writers recording this decades later. So treat them as legend-tinged, not a spreadsheet. But they describe a caravan of tens of thousands of people and hundreds of camels, each one loaded with gold. When he reached Cairo, he spent and gave away gold everywhere, to officials, to merchants, to the poor. The generosity became legendary. But flood any market with that much of one thing, and its price falls. So much gold hit Cairo so fast that by the account of one major Arab chronicler who visited about 12 years later, the value of gold in the city still hadn't fully recovered. One man's pocket money caused years of inflation in someone else's economy. That's the moment that made him a global legend. In the 1300s, the medieval world ran on gold, and a huge share of the world's gold came from one place, West Africa. The Mali Empire sat right on top of the gold fields. But here's the trick most people miss. Mali's real wealth wasn't having gold. It was controlling the trade, taxing every caravan that moved gold north and salt south across the Sahara. Think of Mali less like a man sitting on a pile of gold, and more like a toll booth on the busiest trade route on Earth. Every transaction, a cut. Do that across an empire the size of Western Europe for decades, and you don't just get rich, you get rich on a scale that's hard to even picture. Which brings us to the day he decided to show the world exactly how rich. Which is exactly why, today, you'll see headlines calling him the richest person who ever lived, worth $400 billion. So, is that real? Honestly, no one knows, and anyone who gives you a hard number is guessing. His wealth was gold, land, salt, and control over trade. You can't cleanly convert that into modern dollars across 700 years. The 400 billion figure isn't history. It's a guess that went viral. But here's what we can verify, and it's more impressive than any number. With that wealth, Musa built. He poured it into Timbuktu, turning it into a center of trade and learning, with mosques and a university that drew scholars from across the Muslim world. And by putting on a display that loud, he literally put his empire on the map. Decades later, European mapmakers drew Mali with Mansa Musa on his throne, holding a nugget of gold. A king in West Africa had become famous in a Europe that had never even seen him. So strip away the fake net worth, and the real lesson is sharper. Mansa Musa wasn't powerful because he had gold. He was powerful because he controlled the flow of something the whole world wanted, and turned it into trade, cities, and knowledge that outlived him by centuries. That's a rule that still runs the economy today. And next time, I'll show you the family that did the exact same thing with a brand new invention. Banking. The Medici. If you want the real story behind the money myths, subscribe, and I'll see you there.